Hey, what's up everybody? So I kept meaning to do this video, but one of the things was I kept waiting for whatever's going on in my life at that moment to wrap up, so like something would happen, and then I'd be like, okay, once this settles down, I'll make this update, and then something else would start up, and I'd be like, okay, I'll wait till the end of this, and then I'll have something else to add to this video. And things just kept happening, and so this video is like 2 years in the making, and here we are. So while I work on finishing up the next Ed Engine vlog, I figured I'd do a quick life and channel video update, just go over everything that's been going on over the past couple years. So let's start at the beginning. About 2 years ago, I was finishing up my last year. It was a year after Ed Engine started, the whole Ed Engine stuff. I was finishing up my last year working at the elementary school. And I knew that was my last year, and I think it was around April. I got contacted by this company. Apparently they're a local company, and they're like, hey, we got some 3D work for you, a 3D job for you. Would you want to hop on a video call and talk about it? So I was working freelance 3D at the time. So like I was like, yeah, okay, sure. I can, the job I was working on at the time was finishing up. I'm like, yeah, I can do another 3D job. I can take that on. And we hop on this video call, and he's just like, it seemed like a cool company. They worked on some cool projects, but they were just talking a lot about like company culture and stuff. And I'm like, why do I need to know about your company culture? I'm gonna be doing some contract work for you, and that's it. Until the end, when they told me, or when I guess they asked me, they're like, what salary were you thinking of? And I realized I had just interviewed for a job and didn't even know it. So that local company, it's actually right down the street. It's a local company called Paradowski. They're an advertising company first and foremost, but they have this kind of small team inside called the immersive development team. I worked there for a year, spoiler alert, and I still don't even know what the actual official title was. There was like 3 because they were called like 2 other things before I joined. So like old folders were named the old names, and I never knew what the current one actually was. But I started working there as a 3D artist. And after a couple months, I moved to the 3D development team. So I started doing 3D graphics and shaders, lots of shaders, because they knew I was good at math. So if there was any shader work that came my way, they gave it to me. And I was the shader guy. I mean, it really, honestly, it was a great company to work for. They were one of those employee first type companies where anything you need, they'll get it for you. And it was a work from home job. I worked sitting right here doing this job every day, and it was really cool. Got to work with a lot of cool people on a lot of cool projects for some big companies like Bayer and Verizon, and we did VR development. We did a lot of like VR web stuff. Oh, it was so fun. But the problem was, ever since I quit my job at the school, I don't know, I was just really sad. It was like when I worked at the school, I woke up every morning excited to go, like legitimately excited to go into work. I left every day not only happy, but because I wasn't dreading going into work the next morning, I felt like I could 100% enjoy my evenings, because I was just gonna go to bed and wake up and do it all again the next day, and I was really happy about it. And then all of a sudden I was working at a desk, you know, even though we were working on cool projects, a lot of the projects were kind of corporate based. And just in the back of my mind, I was like, I know I got to go back and do teaching somehow. And so I think it was around November. I started working June 14th at Paradowski, and it was around November, early to mid-November. I was like, you know what? I'm going to call a college, local college, and I'm going to figure out just what would the work be? What would the amount of work be? You know, I already have a degree. So I called them. I'm like, I already have a degree. How much more would I have to do to get a degree in teaching? You know, how much would it cost? Stuff like that. And they told me there was this thing called teacher in residency, where I basically just get a job as a teacher, start working as like an actual full-time teacher, and then get my degree as I go. You have to have a degree, some kind of degree first, but I already had that. So that's what I did. I did all the preliminary coursework. I got my provisionary certification, and I was like, I'm gonna become a teacher. And so yeah, I quit my job at Paradowski. I got a job at a local elementary school, quit my job at Paradowski, and teaching was horrible, to put it lightly. To be clear, I absolutely love teaching. When I was up in front of that class teaching lessons and interacting with the kids and like trying to help them, I never worked a job where it felt more natural and where I felt more at home than working there. It was amazing. But everything else about it was nightmarish. I was fighting administration constantly for just the basic resources I needed to do my job. I'm trying to think of a job I've worked where I've ever been that miserable. It was insanity. It got to the point where I could feel my body shutting down and like my brain just was turning off. It was, if you've never been through that, I'm not exaggerating, it is a terrifying feeling. Actually, and I'm gonna cut myself off there because I could rant for an hour about it. If you want an entire video of me explaining why nobody should become a teacher in the current state of the field, let me know and I'll do an entire video on that. But right now I'm gonna stop myself because I need to I just wanna wrap up this video. But basically I got really lucky. And after a couple months, they said they realized like some enrollment changed, or the projected enrollment wasn't what they thought it would be at my specific school. And so me and the last 7 hired teachers were going to be moved to other schools in the district. And I just kind of went, okay, if you're moving me anyways, can I just quit during that time? And they were totally okay with that. So I left and went back to doing freelance 3D animation and also just working on finishing up ed. So that pretty much catches up to today. Well, I mean the last 8 months or so, which is me working freelance 3D and working almost full time on finishing up ed. Like I mentioned, I'm working on finishing up the next vlog right now. I have to go out of town, so it'll be a little bit. But once that releases, like there's gonna be 1, maybe 2 more videos coming up, and then Ed's gonna be released. And so I'm super excited about that. Well, Ed's gonna go into open beta, but I'm super excited about that. I can't wait. And I just wanted to let everyone know what was up. As always, if you enjoy this channel, if you enjoy the Ed Engine project especially and want to help support it, you will find links down below to help support this channel. And as always, I will see you next time.